Welcome back, Dodecadorks. We're the 12-sided guys. We have Matt as Pine.
Hi.
Scott as Roos.
That's me.
Sabrina as Nari.
Hey there.
Jordan as Richter.
Good evening.
And me, Paul, as Pender the Poet. And now, a sonnet. We're glad you've stuck around for all this time to listen to our D&D podcast. If you become a patron, we can dine upon a pizza, chips, and other snacks. For those of you that listened to our call and told the world that we deserve top marks, a thanks to you from us here, one and all. The rest of you, please go and click 5 stars. There is a place where people go and meet. It's called Discord, and we want you there too. We chat about the podcast's mysteries, NVIDIA, life, and other things we do. Our shop now has some Dodecadork drip, and don't forget Paul sometimes streams on Twitch. That was me snapping.
Oh, we're also a snap.
Woo!
Ball break!
And now, a very special guest, a renowned poet that has traveled the world, here to share one last poem with you tonight. Please welcome Tedward Pine Sr., Lieutenant General, retired.
That's not Tedward.
No, it's Temrid. Temrid Pine Sr.
Boo!
We paid to see Tedward.
Thank you. If you ever, as the merchant Taloon, went to Endor, but not the Ewok's moon, to earn gold by the bundle to finance a tunnel, then, my friends, this podcast's for you.
It's the Crystal Codex, episode 87.
Thank you. Now I have another one. Wait, why are you pulling me off the stage? I have one about the man from Nantucket.
And scene.
And scene. Yes. Watchman Antia slowly stands up from a crouch, her gaze still upon the dead body at her feet. The cut and bloodied man had either been unarmed or else his weapon had been taken by his attackers. Although, Antia thinks to herself, with arms as big as his, fists may have been his weapon of choice. She scans the bricks of the courtyard, her eyes coming to rest on another body, partially obscured in an alleyway between 2 expensive homes. And behind her, 2 more lay lifeless on the stained bricks outside of Dracia Opera House. What a mess. Things in the city are getting out of hand, she thinks to herself, as she leaves the muscle-bound corpse where it lay. She walks over to her sergeant, a round-faced man with bloodshot eyes and a red nose and cheeks. Sergeant Garibald, usually in his cups at this time of day, appears surprisingly sober. Maybe it's the blatant violence done here, or the speed at which it occurred according to reports from witnesses, but Sergeant Garibald is showing more professionalism than normal. He finishes calling out an order to one watchman before turning to acknowledge Antia. "Report, Watchman Antia," he barks. Antia steadies herself. There was something unnerving about the way Garibald was looking at her. Maybe I'm just not used to seeing him so... not drunk, she thinks to herself. Aloud, she responds, 4 dead, multiple stab wounds. Witnesses say an older man in a blue coat was initially accosted by the 4 dead men, before a second old man in a blue coat came out of nowhere and took them down almost single-handedly. She pulls out a small slate on which she had written some notes. Witnesses report the first older man was not alone and rode upon some multicolored beast which sounded like an aileton. The 2 old men then quickly left the scene with 2 other people, a man and a woman, but descriptions were vague, and we lost their trail a few blocks down, she finishes, pointing down the narrow alley past the corpses. She glances at her slate again. Nothing more to report, sir. Sergeant Garibald pinches the bridge of his nose and closes his eyes. Lords and ladies, has it come to this, he says to himself. He then turns and looks at Altia in the eyes. Get this mess cleaned up, he orders, and get those bodies over to Gadaver's shrine. Maybe these corpses can tell the priests more than the last ones did. Altia salutes and waits for Garibald to break eye contact and turn on his heel, striding away out of the courtyard. I think I like him better when he's drunk, another watchman mutters as they walk by Altia, who nods slightly in agreement. A few minutes later, out of sight of the courtyard, Opera House and assembled watchmen, Sergeant Garibald leans against a wall, a small red crystal in his hand. Quietly, almost to himself, he speaks as the crystal begins to glow faintly. It's Garibald. Things are out of hand. I can't keep a lid on this anymore. I apologize, but I think it's time for harsher methods. Garibaldi stands there, waiting for what seems like an eternity for a response to come. He knows there will be disappointment and, most likely, punishment. The light within the crystal thrums to life again, and a deep voice is heard in Garibaldi's head, calm and composed. Garibaldi, you failed to track the old man, and now there are two. Garibaldi gives a start, realizing his employer knows more about the situation than had been divulged. The voice continues. You're done. My mystics will find them before they multiply again. Garibaldi lets out the breath that he didn't realize he had been holding in and wipes his forehead with the back of his hand. As he collects himself and walks back out into the street, one thought occupies his mind. Does he dare run, or should he throw himself upon the mercy of the headsman?
Man, Almar has had a real, old man in blue coat gang problem recently. Just old man in blue coat on old man in blue coat violence.
They're multiplying.
It just sounds like Olivia Beckett was investigating, and she's like, the serious crimes are investigated by...
Is that SVU? Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Mariska Hargitay. The only reason why I remember her name is from that stupid movie, The Love Guru. Oh, gosh. Well, welcome back to the city of Almar. We have Nari and the boys have had quite the adventure so far on their first day in the city. I mean, first off, they went and got an inn. They had a bath. They ran into an old friend, Richter. They killed some people in the street. And then Richter and...
People on the street.
Richter and Pine got to Richter and Pine got to reconnect a little bit. That was a very interesting exchange that they shared. Afterwards, they decided that they were all going to go to the Dracia Opera House that evening for the main reason to see Tedward. But as Richter explained, he was fairly certain that the headsman, the leader of this mafia group that was secretly running the city of Almar, was believed to be a huge Tedward fan and very well may be there.
Who isn't, though?
The headsman, who had not been seen in months, was hopefully going to be there. And it was also revealed that the headsman's name is Bartos. Did you guys figure out who he was again? Did we get that information?
He was a former adjudicator.
Yes, he was. Not just a former, the longest employed adjudicator. He was an old adjudicator.
Who also loved Tedward.
Who also loves Who doesn't love Tedward?
Anyway, I do.
And as the party then left Richter's home and ventured out looking for the building with the purple roofs, the kind of odd building that was kind of made out of round, kind of squat towers that are connected by buildings is in the old quarter in the north part of the city. As they arrived, they realized that it was actually the temple to Lord Baltha and Lady Jaffa, the quote Lord and Lady of Luck, a fantasy casino, if you will. And Roos went into the small shrine dedicated to Jaffa, a place where most people will go and toss a coin to the Jaffa. Oh, Lady of Luck, Luck, oh, Lady of... sorry, terrible.
Keep it in. Keep it in.
I'm really
Keep
sorry,
it in.
guys. That was...
Keep it in.
Anyway, they'll toss a coin and hope that maybe her eye will be turned away from them while they spend time in the rest of the temple gambling and trying to win the big bucks. As Roos was standing there, a glamour first spoke to him, but he quickly saw through that, laughing, and then he was able to have a conversation with Lady Jaffa, who, in exchange for information, was willing to answer his questions for a price. And that price might be pretty hefty. And Roos was able to get some answers to his questions about Lady Jaffa, about inevitability, and I think maybe gain some new questions as well. And that is where we left off last time, with Pine sitting at the ATM machine trying to figure out how video poker works.
But I thought he was mostly naked, but nobody else was playing strip poker at the table.
That was a gag.
Okay, so here we are at the temple of Lady Jaffa and, more importantly, Lord Baltha, the fantasy casino. Roos has just finished his meeting with the statue face of Lady Jaffa, which has turned back into stone. And as he leaves, he finds himself in the temple of Lord Baltha, where everybody else, I guess, is doing some gambling, potentially?
Hey, Nari. Did you ever notice that whenever we get to a new city, we always immediately make arrangements at a hotel and then find another place to stay? Like every time.
You know, you want to have options. You got to keep those kinds of things open.
I've noticed. So where you guys are at right now, you guys are in kind of the main area as Roos comes out. The main area, like the entry hall of this temple, there is another little statue that kind of depicts an impish form of Lord Baltha. There's a couple of tables here with card games and dice games. There's a bar as well, but the unique thing about the bar, there's no stools around the bar because the idea is they don't want you sitting here. They want you taking your drink to a table and then spending your money. There is a door heading north that goes into another part of the temple further in where there's more games, and a door to the west, which as you look in, you can see it is some kind of a money exchange place or a vault of some kind where the priests of Lord Baltha and Lady Jaffa, but let's be honest, they all ignore Lady Jaffa, where they keep their earnings and their money.
Well, I think let's find the roulette table. I'm sure if Ebby were here, he'd want us to put all the gold he had on black.
I don't know. I'm more of a blackjack person myself.
Well, it sounds like this Deborah had a gambling problem.
Oh yeah, you're here. To be completely honest, I'm not much one for organized gambling. I feel like the house has way too much power here. Give me a kitchen table at a friend's house with cigars and ale and good conversation.
I agree, but there are free drinks here.
Well, I want to keep my head. I'm going to see Tedward later.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness.
So maybe one drink and then we can keep moving.
I mean, I've already had a drink. I had a mojito at the baths.
That's been like 2 hours.
Yeah, you've killed people since then.
I had a Negroni with Prosecco.
Oh. I guess one drink, but honestly, I don't want to get sucked into one of these games of chance.
Well, I've got 83 gold I'd like to throw on something.
Bruce, you're back.
Yes, I'm here.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I have more questions than answers, but I think that's normal. Maybe we'll talk about it tonight.
Okay, as long as you're not talking over Tedward.
No. I wouldn't dare talk over Tedward. I did come into possession of about 83 gold I'd like to put on black.
Okay.
That's so specific.
You find the roulette wheel.
I took it from the offering cup to Jaffa.
That's right. I'm like, why do you keep saying 8? That's right. You took all of Lady Jaffa's gold. Which, to be fair, so real quick, behind the scenes, I had written out some things that she might talk to you about or that you might ask her. And I thought one of the things that might be funny is if you actually tried to give her some money, her response would be something about...
Yo, what do I look like? A poor hoe? I don't need your money. That's what you had written down.
Wow, jeez.
I don't care about fiat currency. I'm all about NFTs.
Yeah, she's got her apes. No, what she actually would have said was, "What need have I for this? This all goes to Baltha. None here truly worship me. Well, maybe one now, but that didn't happen." So you want to put everything on black. So here's what I'm going to have you do. So red will be odd, black will be even. I'm not sure how roulette works. If you get black, does it double? Is that how it works? And if you get red, you lose it all?
Yeah, so if you put it on black, you win. There's black and red. There's also individual numbers you can put it on, but also there is also a double zero, which is the house wins it all.
I'm just going on black.
There's a priest standing there. He's like wearing like a robe. He's even got like a little medallion of this golden imp, and he's like, "Welcome to the Temple of Baltha. You gotta put it all on black. Hey, put it all on black. This guy wants to put it all on black. Let's spin that wheel." And he will spin. I want you to roll any die, and if it is black, if it's even, it's black.
It's odd.
Thank you for your contribution to the Temple of Lower Baltha. And he scoops it all in, puts it in a little chest next to him. You want to play again? Double or nothing.
Roos laughs to the group and says, "It would be funnier if you heard the conversation that I had earlier." And then leaves the table.
And that, my friends, is gambling in Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's go.
That's also gambling in real life. It's just that fast. And done. All right.
Okay, well, okay.
It's also equally as unexciting. Like I went to Vegas a few years ago. Man, it was boring.
It really is.
No. It's so exciting because it goes ding 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 ding. That's my impression of a casino floor.
Yeah, and then you look and it's like, and I'm out of money. Okay, well that was it. That's fun.
All right. Well, as you guys leave the Temple of Lord Baltha, the priests kind of bow to you as you leave, and they say, "Please come back and worship here again." And then you hear like all like the people like the haulers and stuff out in the back saying, "Hey, we got a big spinner here," and then like the craps table is going crazy. New roller. Okay, where are you guys going to go as you venture back out into the city of Almar?
I think we were headed to the gallery before we go to see Tedward.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're traveling, Roos will appraise his companions of his conversation with Jaffa.
Oh yeah, by the way, Richter, we regularly have conversations with lords and ladies.
We're just kind of cool like that.
Are you sure that you're not just talking to yourself, or?
No, I was having a stroke in your house earlier, but this was not a stroke.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess as long as we're clear on that.
We met the Lord of Swords. We were there when he died.
Pine says that is kind of a brag.
Oh, straight up bragging.
Roos will also add and say, but he's not entirely dead. I believe he's coming back.
Interesting.
Richter kind of like, his eyes are just straight ahead, and then he kind of smiles and he's like, "Tedward, I always knew you had a bit of a sense of humor."
Oh, I'm hilarious, but here I'm deadly serious. Next time, I'll be deadly serious next time.
I know what that's from. I just figured it out. Oh, golly.
My brain.
What a great movie. You guys venture out into the city. You're actually quite close to the gallery. Basically, last time we talked about kind of where the Baltha and Jaffa's temple is and how it's kind of very, very close to this street called the Pious Path. The Pious Path winds its way past these other temples to other deities, including Lord Radriel. I think last time I described it as just a large obelisk sticking straight up into the air. As you wind
Nice
your way
and
past... Nice erect obelisk, yes.
With a slight bend to it.
Not all of them are bent.
But it's totally normal if they are, guys. If they are bent, that's super normal.
Yeah, obelisks can be any shape. I mean, I've been told that it's how you erect it and how you use it.
I cannot wait to listen to this part of this episode with my 11-year-old son.
Well, he should know that no matter what happens, it's all normal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
As you wind your way along the Pious Path here in the Old Quarter, you do see that there are some older homes here. Some of them are quite big. The yards are larger than in the rest of the town. And in fact, if you recall, where you guys first were, you were in a place called the South Press, which is where the houses are built really close to each other, lots of common walls and kind of built up over the top of each other. The Old Quarter it's like when you go to a city and you are in the old part of town where like the Victorian houses are or the old Queen Anne houses. That's kind of what this is like. This is like Portland, West Hills kind of thing.
Okay, because the old houses in where we're at here in Utah are like short, squat, and brick.
Yeah, this is more like nicer.
Yeah, this wasn't built by people and their 14 kids.
As you venture past these houses,
I was going to say something about 7 wives too, but anyway.
The city of Almar has a lot of suburb around it. There's these little villages that kind of around the city that have all kind of like grown to the point where they've blended together. But here inside the city wall, the gallery would be the northernmost point of the city. And it is it's almost like an old temple, okay? It's kind of looks a little Parthenon-esque, okay? So it's a big square building. It's got made out of white stone and marble. There are entrances on the east side and the west side, these big archways that lead into the building. Then the building itself is really just kind of a rectangle, but the inside, it's like almost like there's just a thick hallway that goes around the perimeter. And then on the very center of the building, it is open to the sky. And so as you approach this building, you can see outside there are people kind of sitting on benches and strumming on lutes or harps. There's other people that are painting pictures, because at this point, you're also right by the bay. You can look out from the gallery, look north, and you can see this bay, the Almar Bay.
Can we see where the watermelons grow? Because we're down by the bay.
Oh man.
You need to go back to your home.
I love Raffi. I love me some Raffi.
Anywho, okay, so you can also, as you're looking out over the water, you realize the gallery is kind of up on a cliff up above the bay. So it's a ways down to the water, but you can look out and you can see the tower out in the middle of the water with the large statue of Iramiel sitting atop it, gazing at the city. But the gallery itself has people outside painting. You see them like painting pictures of the water. You see all kinds of artistry, and people actually, they've brought out looms and they're weaving. This is like a center of art of all kinds. And as you approach the gallery, I mean, are you guys going to go in, or like what's kind of your modus operandi?
So we're looking for some way down into an ancient facility left by the Elil people. So we're looking for passages, methods that they've used to disguise the entries to their temples in the past. See, we've seen a tree that swivels covering a hatch, or I guess it was the hatch covering a shaft down. Have we seen any other ways that they've hidden their entrances?
Underneath mountains.
That's true. I guess we never got to see the entrance there, or even at the Imperial facility near Calta. It had already been discovered, and new entrances had already been established. We'll be on the lookout for something potentially hidden.
Roos will pull Gigi out of his pocket, and he'll offer her a little treat and kind of send her to look around with him.
As you guys walk into the gallery, you can kind of see through the whole building, because the inner wall that kind of separates this central courtyard area from the covered area is it's an arcade. It's a colonnade, whatever you want to call it. And so you can actually see through the archways pretty much all around the building. You can see that the walls all along it are decorated with paintings and tapestries, and even like illuminated shields, that kind of thing, all along the walls. You can see that at each of the 4 corners of the gallery are little step-up daises, little stages, but they're made out of stone, and there's little stools that are just kind of sitting there. And you can see that at the far end, because you guys are coming in on the east side, at the far end in the northwest corner, you can actually see that there is somebody sitting on one of those stools, and they are playing a harp. And you see, as people are walking by looking at the artwork, some will stop and will listen to the music, and just kind of, it's a very peaceful place, even with all the different kind of musical pieces going on outside the building as well as inside the building. You can actually, there's something about the acoustics here where they don't clash, they don't compete. It's almost just like there's this gentle hum of harmonies in the background. And in the center, you can see through, there is a grassy kind of rectangular courtyard, and you see that there are some statues. There are 4 statues at each corner, and in the center, there is this like stone plinth, this kind of circular area that is kind of stepped up stone with a statue in the center of that, as well as 4 statues that are kind of surrounding it, looking at the central statue.
How old do those statues look in the center?
Okay, why don't you go make an investigation check?
Can I give the help action on that?
Why don't you go ahead and give the help action and roll with advantage?
Pine rolled a nat 1.
Okay, so Pine rolled an investigation. He rolled a 1, but he was rolling with advantage because he had help. So why don't you roll it one more time, Pine?
That's a 4.
All right. So here's what we'll say. As far as what you guys can figure out about the statues, since the help action was used, to go back and be like, well, now I'm going to check the statues. Yeah, that's a little bit, I don't know. There's a reason why we do help actions and things. So as you were looking at the statues, it's hard to tell. I mean, some of the statues are covered, like they're surrounded by flowers. For example, you notice there's 2 statues of kind of warriors in the corners. One's in the kind of the northeast corner of the courtyard. The other one is in the southwest corner. And they are both gazing at each other across this courtyard and looking basically straight at that central statue that's on that circular stepped platform. And they are both made out of white marble. And then in the other corners, you have a statue of a woman who is gazing at the center of the room, as well as a statue of a lion gazing at the center of the room, or center of the courtyard. Some of them are surrounded by flowers, some of them are surrounded by plants, some are bushes, and then as you look towards the center, you can see that those statues, like the one in the center, as well as the 4 other ones that are kind of closer to it, those ones are all like a dark black marble, or maybe an onyx of some kind of a dark stone. And again, there is a central statue, and then the other 4 that are surrounding it are all looking at that central statue. But how old are they? Hard to tell.
Well, are they bird people?
No, none of them are bird people. The statues in the center, the ones that are made of black, they look more demonic. They look more like almost like gargoyles or demons. Actually, they're kind of similar in appearance to the statues of Lord Baltha, only they're more sinister as opposed to playful. The statues of Lord Baltha over at the Fantasy Casino were a lot more playful. You know, big smile, gold coins in his hand, that kind of thing. These ones are poised and crouched like they're ready to attack or protect or something like that.
When you described that statue as impish, I immediately thought of those stickers on the backs of like trashy car windows that are just Calvin peeing on the the logo for a different car brand.
That's awesome. You guys are in here. You can see that there are some curators that are walking around. You can tell who they are because they have this this pendant around their neck that has. It looks like it's in the shape of like a palette, like a painter's palette. So it's kind of oblong-y circle with like a hole in it for your thumb, but it's smaller and it hangs around their neck. So you can tell who the curators are here at the gallery.
Okay. Well, Pine is going to look for a corner that's not currently being used.
Yeah, the only one that's currently being used is the northwest corner.
Okay. Pine will go over to the other corner, the northeast corner.
Okay.
And he'll say,
Gather round, everyone. Here's a limerick I wrote about the kinds of mustard I like on different kinds of meat.
Make a performance check because that's fantastic.
Okay. Performance. I get a +4 on this.
Nice.
That's a 7.
Why does that feel like perfect, though?
That is exactly what I would do.
So far, I've rolled a 1, a 4, and a 3.
There is one person who's like, oh, yes, I love mustard. And everyone else just kind of ignores you and walks by. But there's one person who is just rapt attention.
And he looks like the kind of person that would love mustard.
Oh, yeah. In fact, there's a little bit of mustard on the collar of his shirt.
There's some mustard near his fly, too, which is weird.
I love mustard.
All right. What's everybody else doing? Or are you actually going to read that limerick again?
Oh, no, I don't. I'd have to look it up.
I think Nari would kind of flag down one of those curators and just sort of ask them about the statues, ask them if they knew any history or you know, who created them and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'd be with Nari probably.
Okay. And then what's Roos doing?
Roos is still interested in finding any sort of like cracks near the base of any of these statues, any sort of mechanisms. And so he is like walking around them and having Gigi discreetly search for him.
What I will have Roos do in a little bit is I'm going to have you roll investigation, but with disadvantage because we already did it. Everybody else was already looking at the statues. I know you're kind of looking for something different, but so I will allow it, but with disadvantage.
That's fine.
Nari, you and Richter, there's a curator just walking by. You see this kind of middle-aged man. He's balding. He's got kind of jowly cheeks, and he's got this. He kind of one of those people who kind of like walks with their chin in the air, a little bit kind of on the balls of their feet, very snooty a little bit. But he walks close to you.
Pretentious.
A little bit, yeah. And he's walking close to you.
Excuse me, sir. Could you tell us about these statues?
But of course. Which statues are you referring to? These fabulous white marble ones, or these black ones here in the center?
I mean, I would love to hear about both, but maybe let's start with the ones in the center.
Okay. Give me a second. Let me pull something up.
Do you like how I rhymed Fondo with Cubano? Yeah, that's a real winner.
That one guy's vigorously clapping over there.
Sir, why do your pants look so tight?
Oh, jeez. Here's the one I wrote about the man from Nantucket, but it's clean. And the guy's all like, no, more mustard ones, please.
Yes, exactly. All right. He takes you, Nari and Richter, he takes you into the center area where there's 5 statues. There's one in the center. It's like slightly bigger. And then there's these other 4 kind of black, dark stone statues that are staring at that central figure. And they all, as you look, you realize that they are all identical statues. The one in the center is just slightly bigger. And the curator starts to tell you the story about the demon lord who rose up and was trying to take over all of Pavantis. And these 4 demons around it at the other corners represent the 4 demons that actually stood up and fought back and actually fought against the demon in the center. They actually joined the world of the living, or the world of, the material plane, I guess you could say, and actually fought the demon in the center and banished it back to the abyss or wherever it came from. So that is the story of those statues, and the statues around represent the different nations that also fought that demon. The curator is very quick to say, now there's no, of course, historical record as to whether this actually occurred. Many believe it's a myth or a legend, some kind of an origin story to help explain Racolia's deep history. But that's what they represent. So the different areas of Racolia are represented by these white statues in each of the 4 corners, and the 4 demons who fought back against the demon lord.
Of course. It's just a story, but I am curious. These demon lords, do they have a reason for fighting against their brethren?
Some say that they fought back because demons just instinctively fight. Others believed that maybe the demons fought against the demon lord for power. And some believe that should that demon lord have taken over, that actually taken over our world, Pavantis, or Racolia, that it would have destroyed everything, including their own domain. So they fought back to preserve themselves. Who can say? Who can say? Different stories, different authors will tell a different story.
That's very fascinating. How old are these statues? Has this been here since just recently? Were these constructed, or?
Actually, I'm not sure. These are old. The gallery, and he kind of motions to the whole building. The gallery itself predates the Almerian Empire by hundreds of years. And you guys can see that this building is old. There's places where you can actually see where like very expertly done, but patches and things have been placed upon the building to keep it, to keep it up, to keep it standing, because it is a very, very old building.
Architectural Viagra, if you will.
Yes, exactly. And so he says, so the gallery is very old, and these statues have been here in the center of the gallery as far as anyone can remember. We do our best to keep them clean and to keep the plants from growing up and over them, that kind of thing. We do mend them from time to time with some arcane arts to keep them as well defined as they were, hopefully, when they were first chiseled out of stone. Yeah, as you can see, the ravages of time have taken some toll, but we've managed to keep them in pretty good repair. And you can see that, you've seen statues that have just kind of like been worn down over time by rain and storm and everything, and like the lines start to kind of fade as stone kind of cracks and that kind of thing. And these actually look like they're in relatively good repair. So to guess how old they were by looking at them, you would probably not say they are thousands of years old or even hundreds of years old. But what the curator is telling you is more than likely these are at least 1,000 years old.
And one more question, if you have a moment. You said the outer statues are representative of the countries or the provinces that helped with this fight. Do you have a specific list of who they are?
Oh, that's been lost to time. This is a specific myth of Racolia, of this section of Pavantis, and those 4 statues represent the 4 peoples of the 4 countries, the 4, tribes, I guess, that were here in the area that fought against the demon. I don't know that anything is known specifically about their names or even where they were in relation. It's always just been assumed that, this statue here, this woman here in the northwest corner, she represents the northwest section of Racolia, and here in the southeast represents the southeast section of Racolia, that sort of thing.
Fascinating.
No written histories on any of this?
Oh, there are written histories, but it's all long after the fact.
I think Richter is going to meander his way over to the lion-esque kind of statue in the southeast corner of this inner courtyard.
Okay.
I want to kind of investigate that area if I can.
Yeah, let's jump over to Roos, who actually was investigating with Gigi. What did you get with your investigation roll with disadvantage?
It's only a 10, unfortunately.
Gigi is flitting around from statue to statue, and as she's looking around, people are seeing her going, "Oh, she's so cute!" And then Gigi starts kind of showing off her bright blue tongue and kind of flitting around their heads, and so Gigi totally gets distracted, and you kind of you can't do any real searching because Gigi has become very popular here at the gallery. Richter, you're heading over towards the southeast corner of this courtyard where the lion statue is. You look at the lion statue, you can see there's some flowers in the front. There's also some bushes around the back side of this statue.
Yeah, and I kind of want to look around towards the bushes and see if there's anything back there.
I'm going to have you do the same thing. I'm going to have you make investigation with disadvantage.
Well, fine then.
But does everybody have disadvantage because I said originally, I'm going to investigate the statues? And that's it. That's the whole thing for everybody.
Well, it wasn't just because you investigated it's because you investigated with advantage because you had help.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So that's why everyone has disadvantage, is because we already gave you guys a chance to investigate. So, okay. What'd you end up getting, Richter?
So I got a 15 with disadvantage.
Disadvantage as you're looking around. What I'll say is this statue, as you're looking around, it does seem like it is less taken care of. Like the bushes behind it are more wild than the other plants are here in this courtyard. You can't help but notice also that it's the only statue that is not a person, right? You've got these demons who have hands and feet and faces. You've got people, 2 men and then a woman, and you got a lion. So I think you get the impression there's something different about this statue, but you can't put your finger on what it might actually be.
There's something different about this statue. Something animalistic, bestial.
How's the pedestal look? We've seen that before.
Looks very pedestal-y. I have to think about this for a while.
So since you guys have been doing a lot of investigating, we'll say you guys have been here for quite some time now. It's kind of probably about an hour or so. Investigation is not a quick thing.
So Pine is over there, like not on the stool anymore. They're just kind of sitting there on the platform by the stool with this guy, and he's like,
he's totally talking.
So what my wife used to do this where she would bread the chicken breast and then fry it up. We slice that up, eat it with mustard, but with honey and poppy seed in it. We call those chicken tendies.
Tell me more about where you put the mustard.
Well, anyway, enjoy the recipe. I'm going to go see what my friends are up to.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And then he runs home and he's like, I got to get home and try this as he runs out of the gallery.
Guys, that was the headsman, I think.
I'm pretty sure last time we described what the headsman is supposed to look like, and that was definitely not the headsman. This guy was, if you want to see the token of this guy was Random Man token. Like that was him. That's exactly what he looked like. At some point, everybody on the Discord, we're going to have to put the Random Man token up on the Discord for you guys to see, so you can see what we're talking about. This guy is great.
I thought that guy was Random Neckbeard.
So Pine will walk over to the lion statue where they're poking around.
Yeah.
Is its mouth open?
Yes, it looks like it's in the process of growling.
Okay, I'm going to stick my hand in there.
You stick your hand in there and you feel the back of the throat. You realize that it does not go very deep.
Okay.
Look, it's going to eat me.
Good heavens, Timrid.
Somebody paint a portrait.
Oh no!
This is hilarious.
This is a serious investigation.
You see 3 artists instantly turn around and they're like, oh, yes, paint this. Oh, this man's being eaten. Yeah, anyway.
Help me. I just had the wildest conversation. I don't think it had anything to do with what we're looking for, but I changed someone's life today.
Richter nods.
Well, we over here learned some great history, and Nari will kind of share what they've learned about the statues. I'm not sure if that really singles any of them out, but this lion does appear to be a little sus, if you ask me.
And there's different plants planted around each one. It looks like the others all have flowers around them or something. This one's just all bushes, right? Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, it looks like this one's a little bit less, more unkempt. And it very well may have been a decision to have the lion, which is a kind of a wild animal, have more of a wild look to its
bush.
Yeah, exactly. That may very well be it. There's lots of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, if these represent different areas of Recolia, this may have been the wilder, quarter of the country. Maybe they were more nomadic here, where in the other places they were more established. This could just, signify wilderness, danger.
Roos made his way to the corner where Mr. Pine was, and now Gigi is doing tricks for an audience.
Why don't you make a performance check?
I got a 4.
Oh my god, Gigi can't flop like that. No.
She's shy. We've established she's shy already.
She is shy.
Gigi is shy, but to be fair, I think it's less what Gigi's doing and more Roos trying to talk it up. Hey, come check out the skink. Check out my flying lizard. And everyone's like, it's more Roos like not selling it.
Do you guys want to see my pocket lizard? Here, this is my pocket lizard, everyone.
The guy comes running back. Pocket lizard? The mustard guy.
The curator comes over and is like, sir, you can't show that here.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of art exhibit.
All right. Well, as you guys are here at the gallery, kind of looking around, the sun is starting to kind of go down beneath the roofs of the building, and it's starting to get kind of dark in here. The curators are starting to go around and light candles around the area, but it is starting to get closer to night. It's probably dinner time, 6 o'clock or so. And I believe the show started at 7, is what we'd said a couple episodes ago. So it is approaching time to go and see Tedward.
Oh, we can't be late.
Yeah, let's be about this.
True. I feel like there's a puzzle here that I'm just not seeing.
Let's get a good night's rest and maybe come back tomorrow. Or we could go to Eudoxia.
Or a poor night's rest. Tedward.
Oh, Sabrina, you make me smile. Well, very good. So are you going to go to the Opera House now? There is a restaurant inside as well as a bar, or you can get some food beforehand somewhere else.
Well, we might as well have the whole experience. Let's eat at the Opera House.
Let's go.
Okay. You guys travel back through the city, past the Pious Path, past again the temple of Lord Baltha and Lady Jaffa, even past the Cathedral of Iramil, the massive, huge edifice in the center of the city, and you approach the Dracia Opera House. You can see that there is some people that are scrubbing the bricks out in front with like mops and brushes, trying to get the bloodstains out of the yellow brick that makes up the courtyard. One thing I did not describe last time is that the courtyard has a fountain in the center of it. There's some kind of planter boxes and some lawn areas, as well as 2 large Sphinx statues that face each other in front of this building. And as you approach the Opera House, there are stairs that go up to the entrance to the double doors. And as you walk in and up the staircase, you approach the double doors, and straight ahead, you again can see this front desk where there is a man in a fantasy tuxedo. And then to your left, you can see there is a restaurant. And to the right, you can see that there is a bar, both of which are occupied by a lot of random men and women. The head usher, whoever is standing there behind the desk, he kind of smiles as you guys walk in. And he says, "Are you ready to take your seats, or would you like a bite or a drink beforehand?"
Honestly, I'm really craving some chicken tendies.
Whoa. Is Tedward on, or is this just an opener?
No, nobody's performing yet. The show won't start for another, not quite an hour.
Oh, okay. Well, tendies are allowed then.
We will announce there will be bells before the performance starts.
Fantastic. Here, I think we're gonna take in a bite before we go.
He kind of motions over to your left.
Do we seat ourselves? Table for 4?
Oh yes, if you just go seat yourselves, then the waiter will be with you very shortly.
Wow, this place isn't very fancy. Grab your own seat? Come on. What is this?
Applebee's?
I've heard people these days just don't want to work. Millennials.
Honestly, even at a Denny's, they seat you.
Yeah, all of the seats are open and they still seat you.
As you walk in, you see that in the center of the dining room, there is a table for 4. You can hear quiet conversation going on around you. People saying, "Oh, this is my 3rd time being here. I'm so excited to see Tedward." People just, there's one guy wearing a t-shirt. "Woohoo, Tedward." Not really, I'm kidding. This is a very, very fancy place.
I'll have the hyper kebab.
The chicken nuggies, please.
Let me guess. It's a fantasy t-shirt with a blazer over it.
In a fedora.
Yes. My gosh. Okay. Well, as you were sitting there, the waiter comes and he takes your order, whatever you would like. There is a very fine wine list, as well as a very elaborate, elaborate's the wrong word. The menu looks very good.
You know what I've been craving, and I haven't been to a place that serves this in a long time. I'm craving a pork chop, roasted potatoes, carrots, and applesauce.
It's very specific.
Fine. Yes, you can. You can have that. Sorry, I was distracted.
It reminds me of something Grandpa Don would have eaten, Paul.
Yes, 100%. And a Werther's original for dessert.
I call those picker-uppers when I give them to my grandchildren when they're doing chores.
Oh, Grandpa Don. Yeah, so whatever you order is fine. The waiter leaves, and then within about 10, 15 minutes, your food is brought back out to you. You can get drinks as well. I'd say the whole meal costs you about 5 gold pieces per person.
Oh, that is a nice meal.
You notice that Evangeline Lilly is here for some reason.
Multiple of her.
The token that I use for random women here on the podcast looks surprisingly like Evangeline Lilly. And every time she appears, Nari gets distracted. So your food comes, and as you're sitting there eating your meal, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, that is fine. Roos, what is your passive perception?
22.
Yeah, wow. And Nari too. Well, actually, no, just Roos.
Hey, mine's 20.
Yeah, but this wouldn't apply to you.
Heck.
Roos, as you are sitting there eating your meal.
It's a Geishel green salad.
Are you some kind of... Isn't that a chocobo thing?
It is. Chocobos eat Geishel greens. Yes, they do. As you are kind of eating your salad, listening to, the stories that people are sharing, you kind of glance off to your right, back towards the entry hall, and you can see through the open doorway, you see a figure walk past and up to the front desk and then move off to the right, not into the bar, but more kind of going to find their seat. And it is somebody that you recognize very, very well. An older gentleman wearing
Is it a blue coat? Is it one of those old man blue coat gang members?
No, this is even better. Wearing tight pants and boots, as well as a sweater vest. His skin is actually covered in blue scales, and he looks very, very well dressed, but not more in a Barastian style. Roos, do you know who this is that you just saw walk past?
Guys, an old friend of mine has just entered the building.
Oh, really?
Well, should we go and introduce ourselves, or?
Well, it might not go over well.
Oh, is it that Farron boy?
Oh!
No, this is Teagish. He was my mentor when I worked for Howling Talon.
Howling Talon.
I used the term friend very loosely. Bruce will pull out the envelope and slide it across the table to Mr. Pine and say, "It seems I'm a wanted man again."
I'll pull out the two papers. One was for Roos Lorimer.
Lorimer.
One was for Roos Lorimer from Howling Talon, right?
Yeah.
Like Howling Talon was coming after you for not fulfilling a contract.
Yes.
And then the other one was basically King Tenor put out a hit on you as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one from Howling Talon it's a contract for Howling Talon, but the contract was actually placed by Howling Talon. The other one is a contract for Howling Talon that was started by, it looks like, King Tenor.
Do you suppose he sent these to you? These look like, honestly, I don't think this is a threat. I think this is a warning to you.
I do believe it's a warning. I don't feel close enough to Teagish for that sort of a relationship. I don't think this is something that he would do. And it makes me think that an old friend of mine, Farron, who I've mentioned, he might be here in town.
If Teagish and Farron are both here and there's multiple contracts out for you, maybe it's best we disguise you. Here, let me help you. And I'll draw a knife from my pouch and go to start shaving your mustache off.
Oh no. Roos will say, no. Squire can take care of this. He'll use his makeup kit to make himself look a little bit a little bit different.
Excuse me while you go powder your nose.
Yes, I do need to powder my nose for a moment.
I also, since he's here, I also think it best you don't go anywhere on your own for the time being. Always have backup.
Well, now, son, when you go to apply your makeup kit, just remember that you want to use a lighter tone on top to accentuate the jaw bones or the cheekbones themselves. And you can never do wrong by a good blush and a good foundation. Off you go, lad.
I do some really nice contour work in the mornings. It's a little routine that I have.
We've noticed.
You know, a wonderful thing that you can do with a good light shade and a good dark shade, a real slimming aspect it can give to your features.
Richter, you are not at all what I anticipated.
I think Jordan has been watching too much TikTok.
Well, a man's got to have hobbies, you know. Well, let's go find a seat.
I collect rocks and write limericks.
Well, yes. I mean, to each their own, right?
Oh my gosh. All right. As you guys are kind of talking and as you kind of go to disguise yourself, as soon as you get back, you hear a ding, ding, a little bell. Not like a big, like, bong, like a church bell, but just like bells are ringing throughout the restaurant, throughout the bar, and throughout the opera house.
Tedward?
Yeah, people start to finish up their meals, and they take their fancy cloth napkins off their laps and set them on the table. Yeah, cloth napkins. Yeah,
this is better than Denny's.
This is better than Denny's. Yes, and they start to rise up, and everyone's there's a little buzz of excitement, and everyone's about to go take their seats to get ready to watch Tedward, the spooniest bard of all.
Pine has that tingle in the back of his spine that I always get when I'm waiting for my kids to find me playing hide and seek. That excitement feeling.
And you just gotta shake a little bit oh, they're gonna find me. This is so fun.
Yeah. Closely related to the pea shivers.
I always purposely hide in the dumbest spots.
Oh, not me. Okay, real quick. I found the best spot to hide when you're playing hide and go seek at my house because my boys share a room and it's a trundle bed. So what I do is I pull out the younger ones because he sleeps on the lower bed. I pull it out, I roll under the bed, and I pull it back in just a little bit to hide myself, and then I can fall asleep under there while they're looking for me. It's so comfy.
I love playing games with my kids where I get to just lay down.
Exactly. As long as they're not also jumping on you.
Oh no, honey, I'm playing with the kids.
All right, you guys. So yeah, everyone seems to be going to go find their seats. As you stand up from the table and you head back out into the entry hall, the head usher is standing there, and you guys have your tickets for the balcony. As you present your tickets to the usher, he shows you down the hallway to the left. So instead of going into the main general admission, he motions and tells you to go down the hallway to the left and then around the corner, and you guys are the first balcony that you come to. So you move down the hall, and at the end of as you come around the corner, there's this hallway. You can see at the very end of the hallway there is a door that you can imagine must lead back towards the stage, the backstage area where the actors are, the singers, that kind of thing.
Pine clocks that door.
Nari does not go with you guys. She is trying to hit on Evangeline Lilly again.
Always.
Hey, Roos, do you think that Gigi could pick that lock on the back door, maybe?
I'm sure she could.
Pender's gonna be back there.
I know, but if Farron's in town, then I don't know.
Do you think Farron's in town?
I don't know who else would have passed me these contracts.
Kind of a crappy time for an ex to come into town.
Yeah.
As you guys are sitting there and you are talking, suddenly the lights all dim at the same time. And up on the stage, you hear this ring. And then you hear a voice call out, The young lass by the pond, washing her long brown hair. She moves so gracefully in just her underwear. And then,
Just her underwear.
This is the one about peeping toms and sexual predation.
and then out from behind the curtain steps Tedward in his red coat, his red beret, his blonde hair. You can not tell from this far, but you know that his little half cape is held around his neck by a little spoon-shaped pin. And he is playing a harp, and he steps out, lightly singing The Young Lass by the Pond. I will not sing it again, for I will not put our listeners through that misery again. Very good. You see that you guys are up on the balcony.
Play ya ding dong. Ya ding dong. Play ya ding dong.
You guys are up in this balcony. You can see that there are two balconies here on the west side of the building where you are. There are also two balconies across the way on the east side. And you can see down below, there are rows and rows of benches. There's a pit with a harp and a piano and a drum. And there are musicians down there, but none of them are playing right now as they are waiting for Tedward to finish his song that he is singing all by himself. And he goes on to talk about how, he has to move a branch aside to adjust his pants and all that kind of thing that you may remember from, episode 22, I think, maybe 20. Yeah, episode 22, maybe. Anyway, long time ago, but this song is sung again. And as you guys are sitting there, you can kind of look across the way, look down into the audience. Richter, I imagine you are keeping an eye open for a certain someone. Bartosz,
Oh, yeah. Richter isn't paying attention to Tedward at all. And it's hard because
Wow.
it's Tedward. But he is very focused on looking and scouring through the crowd to see if he can see anybody that might meet the description of Bartosz.
As you are looking around, I want you to make a perception or an investigation check as Tedward continues on with the third verse. The young lass by the pond stands up and starts to dance. She twirls and she leaps upon the dew-soaked grass. My ears are turning red. All thought has left my head. My heart begins to buck. I can't believe my luck. And as he's singing, the difference this time is when you guys heard him in the bar, people were like singing along. This time it is quiet. People are just rapt attention. Every word he says, everyone is just paying super close attention. Richter, what did you get on your investigation check?
I rolled a 2 to end up with a 7 for my investigation roll.
Why don't you?
Apparently I couldn't pull my eyes away from Tedward.
Tedward is something else. Anybody else who wants to look around can do that as the show continues on.
It's the voice of an angel.
The voice of a generation is what the sign said. Yeah.
So Pine rolled an 18.
A generation of angels.
Nari rolled a 12. She is so interested in Tedward.
Roos got a 10.
All right. As you guys are looking around, Roos, you I imagine you're also keeping your eye open for Teagish to see if you can spot him, and you can't. It's kind of dark in here. The lights here in the main area are very, very low. The lights on the stage are quite bright. As you are looking around the room, you hear the song end. The young lass by the pond, a memory of which I'm fond. But watch lest you get burned. The young lass by the pond. And then there is a clapping and a, not like a hooting and hollering, but just like a very people are standing up and applauding like you would at an opera. And they're all encore and bravo and all this kind of thing. And Pine, you look across the way and you see in the balcony straight across from you, you see three figures. As you are kind of peering through this dark light, that's a oxymoron. As you are peering through this dark room.
Dark light.
Sounds like a spell.
You hear Tedward announce, "And now for my next piece, I shall bring forth an associate of mine who has been my companion for these last few years. Pender, please." And you see a figure come out onto the stage, and it is Pender, wearing more clothes than, well, I guess you say I saw him at the party too. Anyway, it's Pender. He comes stepping out. He is dressed kind of similarly, a little bit different color to his clothing. And he too has a harp. And they start to sing a song.
The leaves are falling to the ground as kites when sky is still. Long are gone the summer songs, the night is chill. Beneath our feet her ground awakes, her silent slumber sees. Her wrath quakes as morning breaks, gone is our peace.
Pine, as you look across the way at the balcony across from you, you see a figure, an older man. He has kind of dark brown skin. He's got black hair. His skin has been, it looks, you see some age spots on there. He is dressed very nicely. He definitely fits kind of the description that you had heard of Bartosz. You also see that standing or sitting next to him, you see there's a couple of other figures, and they are wearing robes of some kind. They look like they're nice robes and stuff, but not nearly as nice as Bartosz would be wearing. What was your perception again?
It was an 18.
That's all you notice. It appears that Bartosz might be in the balcony across from you, and he is not alone.
So Pine will nudge Richter and say,
Look straight across, the balcony across the way. I guess it would make sense that he'd be a big spender like us. Very important person, But is that him over there?
Yeah, that might be him.
Richter, as you look across the way, it's kind of hard to tell because it is some distance. This is a very large open room, and the light, even with your guys' dark vision, is quite dim, but he definitely fits the description of Bartosz, the headsman, the head of the First Swords. As you two are looking at him, Pender and Tedward finish their song.
We've paid the cost to build anew.
And as Tedward steps forward to begin another song, you both who are looking at Bartosz, you see him turn his head and look straight across at the two of you.
And they're up devil horns.
You're pretty sure from this distance you see him smile as his two associates stand up and throw back their hoods, point their hands in your direction, and we are going to stop there for tonight.
Oh, jeez. Oh, crap. I was expecting an octopus in the rafters.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you for playing. We finally made it back to Tedward. I think after, 60 episodes.
Yes.
I literally can't believe someone would interrupt Tedward's performance.
This feels like a crime. Like, where's that City Watch guy?
Yeah, Garibald. Okay,
Garibald,
so,
who works for the headsman.
Yes, he does. Oh, he's running. I'm pretty sure he's like, you know what? I'm going to run. I'm just going to run. Well, hey, thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for playing. I have really been enjoying this campaign so much. It's been so fun. If you like what we're doing, check out our Patreon. You can actually see a map as well as kind of a perspective picture of what the Dracia Opera House looks like. And you might even notice some of the paintings. I think you can see the paintings in one of the pictures, what the paintings are that are on the wall behind the front desk of the Dracia Opera House. Also, don't forget to check us out on Discord. Go check out our shop, get some Dodecadoric drip. And until we get together next time, we hope you have a great time.